Tar is the black female goddess by many names. Because back in the old days, what you call paganism was when God was a woman and the women were the closest to God, the woman, or they were aspects or rays of light coming from the woman, the dark matter, the dark universe that was opening up itself to create more and all these what we call angles of light, because we're just angles of light coming from darkness. Somebody got you afraid of the dark. All the bad things happen in the dark. Make sure you turn on your lights and lock your doors at night. You better lock your door. When you go to your mailbox, you better be careful because what they robbing you. You know, I called the phone company. I said, what is these? I got 4 surcharges. What is the surcharge, sir? Well, that's a surcharge is a charge that they charge because it's being charged. No, well, what is it? Well, it's a charge on your bill. Well, what's it for? Well, it's a surcharge. Can you read it right there? It says surcharge. I said, no, sir. I need a better explanation of what a surcharge is, sir. Well, sir, we can't tell you what it is. Well, you work in the department that's supposed to be able to talk to folks. You customer relations. I need to relate with somebody. I need to know what the hell the surcharge is and why is it 4 of them, sir? Then I figured out later. So yes, surcharge. They done charge me taxes. I'm paying for the hearing impaired, the seeing impaired. I'm even paying for the thinking impaired, right? They'll talk about that. We'll talk about that another time. The thinking impaired. See, because you think you got it all together, but you know, let me leave that alone. What I'm saying is that you're being ripped off every single day. If you want to have a telephone, you're going to pay some charges. You don't know what they're for. That's crime. But, you know, you got it. That's gangster. If you want it, either you want it or you don't. You see what I'm saying? So they tell you you're going to get ripped off and robbed at night. No, some of the deepest stuff is going on under the light of day. The darkness is the safest place. The darkness is where everything comes from. That is in the cave. The darkness of your head is the cave. And I'm going to show you something here. We're going to get a great analogy about how powerful the darkness is, right? And we're going to get back to Tar and Astar, and that's going to take us to this altar. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
In order for the seed to germinate, it must be put in the soil in darkness. Now, you can put some seeds on the counter and sprout them if you want, because you want some sprouted sunflower seeds or some sprouted watermelon seeds. They're only going to last a couple days, maybe a couple hours. But they're not going to really grow a whole plant because you didn't put them in the ground. Mm-hmm. So they didn't go through the right energy. You know, they got to go through a type of struggle breaking through the soil before you can become a strong plant. Mm-hmm. You must go through a certain struggle to break through from darkness into light. Huh? What must happen in order for the sperm to hit that egg or find that egg? Must be totally dark. Can't have no LED lights, no fluorescence. It don't work. Mm-hmm. Even them test tube babies, they had to have them in pure darkness. Dark. That's where everything comes from. We go to the Bible. A lot of folks like to refer to the Bible every once in a while because, as you know, Brother Rich, the Bible tells the truth. And as the Bible says, it says that a homeboy was on a boat fishing. What's his name? Wasn't Jonah? Was it Jonah? Jonah was on the boat fishing. And God came to him and told him he had some deeds for him to do. Jonah said, no, I like hanging with the homies. They got some weed they bringing out here later on. We're going to fish all night. I'm changing the story. You don't think they were smoking hemp? What you call them? The sails and everything was made out of hemp. The rope was made out of hemp. You think they just threw the flowers away? This is a sacred plant. Cannabis. You was talking about that a little earlier. We'll get to that another day. Anyway, what happens? Homeboy don't want to listen to God, so the ship goes through a storm, the ship capsizes, and he ends up in the belly of a whale. A big black whale. He's in the darkness. And in the darkness, that's when he comes to light. When he goes through the struggle by himself inside the cave, he alters himself. He changes. He goes through a transformation. Now he becomes a man, quote, quote, of God. Moses, where does he go to get the message from God? Where does he go to talk to God? He goes up on a mountain in a cave. That's where he went and got them commandments. Now, I know y'all don't know all the commandments because some of them broke and he got pissed and I don't know. I'm not telling you this is historical. I'm saying these are the stories. They're reaffirming this thing about the mind or the brain or the cave inside of us. That darkness is where everything gets generated, and that's where you create the altar space. Jesus the Christ. He's going through all these things until they put him on the cross. He dies. Where do they put him? In a dark cave. He can't resurrect until he dies. There'll be no resurrection without death, which is transformation. There'll be no resurrection without death and without going into the dark cave. And when they came the next day, the cave was open. He was gone. 3 days later, he's off fishing. See, these stories are analogies. It doesn't matter whether they really happen or not. It's whether you can use this. Because there's no actual death. There's just transformation. You're moving from one dimension to the other. These are all stories about dimensional shifts. And in order to make that dimensional shift, you got to go into that darkness into yourself. And sometimes that darkness is what they call the shadow self. I know because a couple weeks ago, I had to go into that. Wasn't the night of what was they call it? The night of the living moon. What do they call it, Brother Rich, when you're going through that hell?
I forgot